Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to the K Reed Show. My name is K Reed. It's a wonderful day. It's a phenomenal day. If you're just not tuning in, happy holidays too. You in for a real good treat. Because in front of you right now, I got the man, the legend, man, behind the scenes, on the surface, co-founder of the legendary record label Murder Inc.,
Yes.
film producer, executive, boss, mogul, Chris Gotti in the building. What's happening?
Hey, Reed, what it do, man? Thank you for having me.
Man, I'm chilling, man. It's an honor, bro. You're a legend, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you before we get started, too, man. We started off with a record label, me and my boys back in the days in New Orleans, as we was talking about it.
Yeah.
And we was coming back up in the 90s, man. We was looking at y'all. We was looking at y'all. We was looking at Rough Riders, Rockefeller, Bad Boy.
Oh,
Especially me personally, I was a CEO. So I was looking at you and Irv and Dame. I was watching y'all, man. So I learned a lot from you, man. So I want to give you that honor right here in front of my face, bro. It's an honor, bro.
thank you. Yeah, nah, the reality is we just wanted to do what we wanted to do in our culture
Mm.
and how we want to do it. That's really the thing. And we didn't basically take no for an answer. We just kept pushing.
Yeah. So I guess it started a little bit from the beginning, man. For those that just don't know, right? You know,
You
uh
know?
what made you want to get started in the music business from jump?
Well, from the jump, I was in the music business with my brother very early before any fame or anything. But coming from Hollis, Queens, to see Run DMC, Jam Master Jay right up the block, talking to them and watching what they doing, the movement, the way those records was like just going crazy, and it just kind of made you feed into that. When you find hip hop, I'm 58. When the Treacherous Three, Grandmaster Flash, the
Yeah.
Furious. When you heard those records, it was like, whoa, what is this? It was just took you by storm.
Mhm.
Um, and the love affair for hip hop and myself never stopped after that. Now, when my brother was, what we did is I seen he had a different talent, if you understand.
Mhm.
Like I'm an executive. I look at myself as the executive. I'm a very creative, savvy business mind,
Yeah.
and that's what I did. So remember, this is a partnership. Let's call it. And my brother was the creative. He had an ear for the music, the sound, what it should sound like, what it should feel like. And that combination, it worked. That's how I look at it. Um, no, we just kept pushing. Like I said, we
Yeah.
didn't take no. We just kept pushing. We opened up doors for when you mentioned all those other labels and everything. We opened up doors for them. We seen what we did and was like, come on in, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they did in a
Yeah.
major way. Both Rough Riders and Rockefeller, like in a major way. And that to me was everything.
Right. One thing I liked about what you and Irv was doing, rest in peace, Irv. You
Yeah.
know, one thing I liked about what y'all did was y'all started y'all record label, Murder Inc., right? But then y'all went and got a lot of people from the hood, right?
Wow, man.
And
What else we
employed a
supposed to
lot of people, man.
I don't know. I don't know what else that's you supposed to do.
You know?
When you come in and you open up a door and you have success, how you not bringing your brothers with you and your sisters with you
Mhm.
that are around you that have the talent. See, it's not like it's a handout. They have the talent. They have the want, the desire to do it, and you just give them an opportunity. Everybody deserves a chance to swing the bat at the plate,
Come on.
if you understand. So, my job was really like, if you had the talent, it's funny because the Fed said, "Why am I doing that?"
Yeah.
They asked me when we went through trial, they would come to my house and say, "Why are you hiring all these ex-cons and all of these things?" And I'm like, "Why you care? I'm
Yeah.
giving them a job. You should be
Yeah.
thanking me, not talking about me, and stopping it. You should be thanking me because I'm saving lives. I'm helping people. And, I thought we supposed to be able to have a second chance. Like, what the hell, man? Fuck." And this is all I looked at. And again, it's the opportunity, that chance to swing the bat at the plate. it's one thing to always be in the batter's box, but do you get a chance to hit that home run, base
Sure.
hit, the double, the triple at the plate? And I looked at business like that. Why?
Mm.
Because I didn't get that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, Jam Master Jay helped me. He's the only person that I would sit here and say help me, but he didn't help me in the sense of bringing me into meetings. He just let me see things.
Mm.
He brought me around people and let me hear conversations,
Yeah.
but you know, it wasn't like he was like, "Here, let me do this for you," if you
Mm.
understand what I'm saying. And I'm not knocking him. Shout out Jam Master Jay, God bless the dead, but that
No,
was my brother.
that's
Yeah.
what's up. Cause
So
that's
when you say what you're saying, Murder Inc. is designed because we wanted to give people the same opportunity that wasn't afforded to us,
what's up. I
right?
love that.
Yeah.
I love that because a lot of times you know, we don't do that. I'm like,
Oh, most of the time,
what I'm saying? I'm like, dog.
we
I
was
remember,
taught wrong though.
yeah, taught wrong, bro. We taught wrong,
We was
bro.
raised wrong,
We was raised wrong, man. But
and it takes a lot. Like it takes a lot to change that mindset, and
yeah,
that's part of what I try to leave by example. Good, bad. Whether it's, you know, it's about leading by example because people will follow.
okay, okay, that's what's up, man. Y'all dropped some legendary artists between Ja Rule, Ashanti, all Cadillac Ty. I mean, y'all whole label really was shoot Lloyd. Y'all
Yeah.
whole label was really banging, man. When y'all was creating these
Thank
records, Chris, did you know that these each artist would be legendary? Like especially Ja Rule and Ashanti, they was legendary artists, man.
Well, when you hear something different and special, your job is to figure out how to make the world feel what you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. Like you got to get the world to feel the same vibe that you feel for this artist. So, and I won't say that I knew, but I had a gut, like my gut intuition. But I bet you if you ask everybody whether they was successful or failed, they say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me isn't it's not like my batting percentage is 1,000%. I got losses too, you know what I'm saying? So or things that didn't work and we couldn't connect the dot to the from that artist to become very successful,
Yeah,
you know, the way we would have liked them to. So, it's timing, it's so many things that come into play to why it works or not works. But
right.
really, every artist, when you vibe with them and you got that vibe, you feel they gonna go.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, for sure. Being the CEO, like you say, the boss, a lot of times behind the scenes, right? Uh how was that deal? Like how does one get a major in those days, especially, right? I know the
That's
game has
another,
changed.
yeah, but that's a lot of misconception too with Murder Inc.
What's up?
Irv and myself, nor myself. Irv, I always put him as the top because he was the brainchild as far as the music. I was the business side.
Mm-hmm.
And so that combination, you can't have one without the other. But the creative side, in my opinion, is more important.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And so and again, it was his baby. Irv wanted to be the biggest producer in the game.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
all he wanted. So he didn't say, hey, you know what? Let's start this record label. You understand?
yeah.
So when he said he wanted to be the biggest producer in the game, my job was to make him the biggest producer in the game.
Mm, mm,
I'm the business side now. I kick in. What did I do? I started signing all these producers,
yeah,
and everything changed from there. When I first start back with him, because we wasn't making money in the beginning, so I had to go get money.
yeah, yeah,
And he called me and said, "I need you back because it was getting a lot of work and busy." And so I said, "Okay, cool, bet." And I come back in, and when I come back in, he's getting 5,000 a track. That's it. And he got one producer, Little Rob. Now, Little Rob, shout out Little Rob. Little Rob is fire, but Little Rob didn't make a lot of beats.
mm-hmm.
So if he made 4 beats, I sold 3. Great percentage.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like quality. He the only made quality joints, but everyone didn't sell. But the ones that he made, most of them sold. And I told Irv, I said, listen, I don't have enough inventory, bro. Again, this is just business.
Mm-hmm.
I need more beats.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I tell him I'm gonna go sign some producers. Only thing he said was I ain't taking less than 5,000 a track.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said that's a given. That ain't no problem. So I started signing producers, and hits just started coming.
Y'all signed
And
7 too, huh?
yeah, that was Irv.
Okay.
Irv. I don't take credit for 7. Uh, Irv found 7.
For sure.
But I got pretty much everybody else. Irv had 7 and Little Rob, and I got the
Yeah.
whole rest of the roster.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And I'm not comparing. It's just when you think about what that is, like, so people always talk about me and they don't understand. I found all those producers. I got an ear.
Yeah.
All the artists. I helped sign every artist except Ja Rule because I found them or heard them and then groomed them and then brought them to Irv.
Right. Right.
You understand? That was the way the business worked, the process. Irv was focused on Ja and Ja only. He hit me with the tunnel vision, like, yo,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
get money with Ja. Like, stop thinking about all that other shit. And I'm like, I'm just trying to grow.
Yeah.
Business, I'm developing, right? I'm growth and development. That's what I'm doing. I'm on GD shit, on some real shit. Like, at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, that's what I'm thinking, how I'm thinking. And it worked.
Definitely worked. Definitely.
But it's all timing. See, Irv in the beginning, when he hit me with that, he wasn't moving. He was focused on making Ja's albums and all the things he was doing with Ja because we got a successful artist. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he's right. See, both sides is right. He's right, I'm right.
Right. That
Right?
makes it
Meaning
good.
he's right because that's where we make our money. So he can't lose focus. This is when the partnership comes into real play. He can't lose focus on the job rule because that's the main thing we making our money on.
That's right.
And we got to grow it.
That's right.
So I started developing all these other artists. And then when he got a moment, a little downtime, he took in Ashanti. He took in
Yeah.
a Caddy. You know what I'm saying? And got to work with them.
Yeah.
But it was all timing.
On timing. On timing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Vita. Shout out to Vita too. Yeah. Vita.
Yeah, Vita as well,
Out of
of course.
Baltimore. Shout out.
Charlie, yes. Black Child, my
Hey,
man.
that is y'all thing.
Same.
Another question for you, big dog.
Yeah.
One thing about you I noticed, I know you're a serious dude. When I say serious, I mean serious in business, right?
Yeah.
And you have a lot of passion that's obvious behind what you do. So in shifting, from Murder Inc. to Adventures Music, how did you do that? And how important is it to have that passion behind this business?
Well, if you followed the career of Murdering and see what Universal did to us, it's easy to understand that transition. Universal cooperated with the government
Mm-hmm.
against us
Yeah.
after we made them billions of dollars, not millions, billions.
Great.
That's a blow and a half. And I'm talking in hindsight, meaning in the moment, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
We didn't know that they cooperated with the government.
Dang.
So we're thinking our partners is great. No, it wasn't great, man. So we go through all of this, and when we find out, it's a real shocker. And it's like, damn, man, we done generated and built these incredible businesses for you, with you, and this is how you treat us. And in my opinion, I felt they just wanted to own the asset.
Mm.
They wanted to own Murder Inc. and all of the
Yeah.
artists
Yeah.
and get us cut out.
Yeah.
The way they do business is terrible.
So
We're in litigation as we speak.
really, wow, I would have never thought. I thought that was over with. Nah, for real. Wow.
But it's never over till it's over. If
Wow.
I'm breathing, as long as I'm alive, it's not over.
Wow.
You know.
Y'all still taught on business though. Y'all beat the feds, man. That's legendary too.
Well, the reason we did that too, because the game is not stack fair, even if you didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
You know how many people inside they come home and they wasn't guilty to charges. That's the reality.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but business is why I'm here because I took care of good business,
That's
and
right.
it played out in the courtroom.
That's right. That's right.
So it's a testament. You know, when I deal with like some other people, you know, the corporate white executives, and they want to know about the trial, I tell them, my trial is not a badge of shame; it's a badge of honor,
Mm-hmm.
because most of the white executives
Mm-hmm.
copped out to white collar crime to go through the whole federal process and win a
Yeah,
full trial.
that's me.
When they made offers, they made unbelievable offers to get us free, and we didn't accept it. We was like, no,
Yeah,
because I'm not gonna. Because if I take an offer, that means I gotta plead guilty.
right,
I'm not pleading guilty to something I didn't do.
right.
You know, the last offer they gave us, my lawyer started crying because he was like, Chris, and Shargell, God bless the dead, he was the best lawyer ever. He said, as much as I know you're innocent, I can't guarantee that 12 people is gonna say that in this Eastern District of New
That's right.
York.
Right.
And I told him, I said, if God got it for me to fight from behind the bars to come back out, then so be it. You know, it's a 20-year bid.
Yes, right.
And they offered us no jail time. That's how bad they wanted us to just tell.
Just yeah.
No jail time, probation only, and just got to tell his story.
Right, man.
And they wanted to tell on Supreme. Shout out Supreme, man. Free
That's the
Preem.
thing. What's up? What's up, man?
There's a documentary, Supreme Truth. Go get it. Go watch it. It's on
It's out now?
out now. Go to PrinceMillerNYC.com and you could go get it. Prince Miller, that's his nephew, who just came home. Shout out
Came
Prince,
home.
man.
What's up?
Incredible, incredible.
Yeah.
You know why I say it's incredible? He did 34 years, if I'm not mistaken, and this man has done more in his few months home
Hmm.
than I seen dudes do in their whole life being
Wow.
free.
Wow.
And
Wow.
he's articulate. He got his mind. You know, after 34 years, most people are broken.
Yeah, I've been
Most,
checking him out. I've been checking him out. He on
um,
point.
oh yeah, he's on point, man. Like
Yeah.
I said, him and Preem both. When I talk to Preem, man, their minds is unbelievable. Like, and that's the key. When you get incarcerated, I know so many that did. They're not the same after those kind of years.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
different. These guys still are unbelievable on in their mind and everything. And I give him nothing but credit, and I give him shout outs because, like I said, there's only a handful of let's say street legends that kept their word and honored
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
whole thing. Like, there's only a handful. The last of the Mohicans. There
Being
they
a
go.
man. Really being a man.
Yeah, but it's easy as you say that. Like I said, there's clouds over all these street niggas,
Yeah.
man. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. I got two, Preem and Prince, impeccable records, impeccable, and they did it the way they did it. They
Right.
standing tall, you know, no pressure. No pressure. They dealt with
Yeah.
everything head on, no problem.
That's what's up. That's what's up,
Yeah,
man.
to me, like I said, I deal with a lot of people across the country, and I know a lot of people. And like
Yeah.
I
I
said,
know you do. I can imagine
shout
you
out
do.
to Supreme and shout out to Prince, man.
Shout out. Shout out. Legend. OGs.
Yeah, free
Uh,
Prince, man. I mean, free Preem,
that's
free
right.
Preem.
That's right. That's right. Uh, Chris, I recently, saw we're gonna talk about added venture music a little bit too, but I
Sure.
recently saw your movie, bro.
All right, balling, man. Come on,
Yeah, I
talk
saw
about
you, man.
Lance Stevenson in the
What's
lead,
happening?
but I got Safari in there, Rebecca Beaumont, Trey Chaney. You know what I mean? I got some real good actors in there. The movie's really good. We're gonna be doing a part two, balling two, because the way it ends, I won't give it away. But
Yeah, I was kind of like, huh? I said, what? What? I was like,
yeah,
I said, oh, I see what's happening here. I
well,
said,
the movie
what we
was
doing?
based on Alfred Hitchcock. I don't know if you're familiar with Alfred Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock is a white
Know about it.
old filmmaker.
Yeah.
Uh, and he used to come on late at night. Remember, I'm 58. I used to be watching this late at night,
Mhm.
and you would just see the outline of his shadow, and he walk into it telling the story of about what's coming on. He did a story called Dial M for Murder.
Mm,
So Ballin is no with the plot twist that you see is what's in Dial M for Murder. We just made it for the culture.
mm, mm. But that was good though. How you got Lance Stevenson, NBA ball player,
Yeah.
actor, Safari.
He, yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. He did his thing too, you know. Lance, not only, hold on, not only did he act, but I put him in the studio. Now I was only gonna
Rapper?
make a record or two. That's it. We did the whole soundtrack. Lance did the whole soundtrack. He never was in a big studio before. I brought him out to Circle House in Miami.
Miami, yes, right.
And man, I give him all the credit because I wasn't thinking the album. I was thinking I'm just gonna make one or two records, but he kept going. I
Yeah.
brought a producer in. Shout out Neri. Neri boy came in, chefing up beats right on the spot. He never seen that.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? I brought my nigga YD in. You know what I'm saying? My niece, Ricky. Shout
yeah,
out Ricky. Her and Lance killed it. They on mostly all the songs.
yeah.
You know, Fresh, Zeke Don. And again, it was just a vibe with all these different talented people coming in the room, and I just didn't want to stop the energy. We made 18 songs in less than 2 weeks. And I was like,
Hey,
man,
y'all rolling, y'all rolling.
yeah, that's what I said. So we put the soundtrack out. So there's a balling soundtrack out on Adventure Music right now. You know what I'm saying? Doing his thing. And again, go listen to it top to bottom. I put that music up in songs, in body of work against anybody right now.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. So proud of all the things you're doing, man. As far as just like with you never stop. Really, you never stop.
You can't.
Be honest with you.
You know,
Mhm.
Diddy said it best.
Yeah.
Can't stop, won't
Can't
stop.
stop, won't stop, huh? Yeah, 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 man. So talk about the
Hold your head, Diddy.
for sure, man. I learned from everybody, man. I mean, I'd be lying to sit here and say I didn't.
He's one of them.
You know what I'm saying?
He's one
Straight
of
up,
them.
man.
Look, he got some issues that he fucking dealing
Yeah,
with and going through, but
yeah.
in the music industry, he's one of those guys.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure, man. Talk about the ad music right now.
Yeah, adventure
Yeah,
music. So I I s- I switched up to a distribution for independent artists to teach them. So they could learn how to own, operate, monetize their music. Because when I seen the game changing, I made adventure music
yeah.
way early. You know, people weren't in the mindset of independence.
Mhm.
Uh, but the reality is, I know where the game was going, and independent is where it's at right now. That's what we. What new artists do we have? What's the new signing for a record label? We got millions and millions of
Yeah,
independent artists
me.
across the country. Forget world, in the United States only. Millions of artists that's trying to get in the game, and where are the new artists being signed to?
Yes, sir.
Where are they at? So if you're a new artist, how are you going to get your music out? You need a distribution platform
Mm.
that's going to push your music out. But the reality is, you know, the most independent artists don't want the grind of being independent. They want a label and they think it's magic, but they don't realize a label's not magic. The minute you get a deal with a record label,
Mm.
whatever you was doing just increased by 10 20 times.
Yeah, that's right.
Whatever you did to get the deal, be ready to work 10 to
That's
20
something.
times harder
That's
more. So it's not the label, it's you. They just put you to the work ethic, and if you don't do it, they shelf your ass and you sitting down.
something. Word, word, word. I'm glad you're talking about that, Chris, because I was discussing that with somebody else earlier. We come from the era of you buy the CD, you got the shrink wrap on it, you get the shrink wrap off of it, you read the credits, you got the
Ready to
you know what
credits.
I'm talking about, you got the barcode, so we know we got the sound scan selling these records. But
Hmm.
now we got the Apple, the Pandora, the Spotify. So, Chris, in your opinion, I'm glad I got you on the show. What
Yeah.
do you think is better? The new business with the streaming or the old way when we had the record selling 10 million
It's not
records, 5 million records?
again, it's in my opinion, I don't believe the new business makes sense for the masses,
Mm-hmm.
for the majority of artists that are signed to labels. But to knock or discount what some of the top label artists are getting versus back then, oh, they getting paid. If you're the one to one, you know who
Yeah.
suffers the medium artists
Mm-hmm.
and the lower tier artists.
Okay.
The top echelon of the
Yeah.
artists make more money
Yeah.
today than back then.
Mm.
And right,
Okay. You mean to you? So you saying? Oh, so you saying
it's all because it's not because of sales. See,
okay?
if you just counting sales, it's not why.
That's right.
It's they got ways to market or merchandise their sales way better if they have those kind of numbers for the top tier artists in today's market.
Right. Right.
You know, just think Drake.
Oh yeah.
How could you? Let's use him. He's
Okay.
top echelon, and
Right.
Kendrick, they top echelon
Sure.
rappers. Drake got a deal for $500 million.
Hmm.
What rapper ever did that back then?
Nobody. Nobody.
Exactly. See, that's the power of influence. He has a brand and a business that now could be exploited to make more money than what we could have exploited back then. But the middle artists, nothing. The lower artists, forget about it.
Hmm.
It's way better back then. So it's that balance, you know. But most artists are not top echelons.
That's right. That's right.
So they're feeding just a few, and they're killing all the other ones. That's why we don't see the music. You know what I mean. You don't hear the music. You don't see new artists. The business is rough. But guess what?
So
Mysteriously, labels have all profited bigger than ever.
yeah, I figured that. Yeah, I know that much. I can see that much.
That's because they're not sharing in all that revenue that they're getting in.
Mm,
See, that's the reality. And artists today have to make sure their contracts cover everything.
everything.
Everything. You
All
know,
expenses. All
that
expenses.
AI,
Right.
yeah, that AI is coming in and it's new revenue streams that are being generated that the labels, you know, labels have always been rape and pillage. If you
Hmm.
came in my office back in the day,
Hmm.
uh, on my wall, you seen cut the check.
Mm.
This is all over my walls. Cut the
Yeah.
check and rape and pillage. And like Leo would come in, and I used to have a noose.
Yeah.
True story, right over my fucking desk, right?
Hmm.
And Leo would come in my office and he sees the noose and the cut the check and the rape. He said, "Chris, what's going on?" I said, he said, he asked me about the noose. I said, the noose ain't for me. I'm not, don't worry about me. The noose is for you. You gonna put your head right in it and step off the chair.
Mm.
That's what you gonna do to yourself. These are like symbolizations for me to remind me of the business I'm in.
That's right.
Cut the check, constantly make sure they paying us.
That's right. That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Rape and pillage. They thought it was me talking to them. No, it's me to remember. That's what they doing to us.
Yeah. Keep it. Yeah. Keep you steady. Keep you focused on what this is. What this really is.
Yeah, I have a lot of like sayings and acronyms that I use to always remind me. I didn't go to school, but these things keep me in focus on business and who I'm dealing with and what I'm dealing with.
Mm.
You know? So certain things, and I have so many different sayings that I keep and I'll say to myself to remind me what I'm doing and the reason I'm doing it. But those were all things for me to remember who I'm dealing with.
That's
The,
what's up,
and
man.
rape and pillage was one of them because that's what they trying to do to us.
That's what I do.
They want to rape and pillage everything we got. They can't create what we do, so they got to steal it. They got to take it from us. Well, they don't have to. They could treat us like fair partners, but they don't do business
Mm.
that way.
Yeah. 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 Is it uh is it fair to, let me ask you this question, Chris? Uh
Yeah.
is it fair to say that, let's say Ja Rule, for example, artists like Ja Rule, or even
Yeah.
Ashanti, for example, as great as their career was, right? With the streaming going on, isn't it safe to say that now their songs never die? And so if your paperwork is right, you can eat off that song forever, right?
Whether it was streaming or not,
Yeah,
we made timeless music.
that's right.
That's the facts. I'm not trying to brag, but there's a reason Ja Rule, 25 years later, basically, with no new music, is still touring, making millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm. That's my dog right there, boy.
Think
Dog.
about that. He's probably at the second highest pay. People think they can get Josh for like show. No, nigga, you got it fucked up. He's a six-figure number to do shows.
Yeah.
And this is 25 years later, with all the trials and tribulations, all of the bullshit, the feds, the whole thing with the, old boy. and he's still at that number. Why? There's two parts, in my opinion: the lack of new artists and build of solid foundational careers. Right? There's so many artists that came, but they can't do what he
Mhm.
do. They can't perform for 2 hours like he can.
Hell no.
And
Not the energy, not like that.
that's just what it is. I see it. I can't believe it sometimes when I go see it. I'm still in awe of Ja because it's like, damn, that's amazing, bro. You know, and you have that part, and then you have those records that just, man, that sound,
Timeless.
that Murder Inc. sound is real,
Yeah,
bro.
it's murder.
Yeah, believe that. And we had a
Yeah.
Irv created a formula for making music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he had a way of thinking about it. If you listen to the music, like I laugh because when I think about what he used to preach and what he was telling them, how it rings so true, today. One of the things, like if the beat was like, think of Ja Rule. Ja Rule found his sound.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to Vena Vena Vici, it doesn't sound like 336.
Nah, it doesn't. It doesn't.
336 is when he found his
That's right.
sound.
And I love the first one. I love the first album.
Everyone did. That,
Yeah,
that was,
I'm hard.
that first album when it did his thing.
You
But
heard me?
his next music after that never sounded like that first album. Think
Didn't.
about that.
I know. I know. It never
He
sounds.
found his niche and he found himself as who he is. And that's what every artist is really out there trying to do. They got to find who they are. And then once you do that, it's really like it's easy
That's
if
what's up.
if you have that talent.
That's right. That's right.
Ja would go in that booth and it's like the songs was written already.
That's right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
That's what it
That's how
felt like to
fast
us.
they would flow out. We're not talking about today where they cheat and do 12 bars and 12 bars and you out. He had to do 16, 16, 16 with an 8 bar hook, the whole chorus, and he would just do those things like it was nothing. If we was in today's era, we would have made way more records because you have to make a lot more. See, that's one thing in hindsight when I look back. We make the album because we knew if we have 3 singles, we basically control a fiscal year.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the mindset. Okay, first single's gonna go this long, second single's gonna go this long, third single takes us all the way here for a whole year, basically, and we ready to do it again. So it wasn't like we had to keep going making more and more and more records like they have to do today.
That's right. That's right.
Because consumption of music today is a problem, man.
Yeah.
That's why we have that's another issue.
Yeah.
These young people, they consume music like this.
Fast, quick.
Yeah, we sat on albums and enjoyed them and how they put it together, the whole thing. There's none of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think of most of the albums back then. We had skits and everything because we
Yes.
wanted to tell.
Interludes.
We had interludes because we
Intros.
wanted to tell a story from
Yeah.
beginning to end. For
That's right.
me, Ready to Die.
Hmm.
If anyone wants to understand what that is, go listen to Ready to Die top to bottom.
Better believe it.
Biggie was ready to die.
Yeah.
You understand? And then his second album was Life After Death. He's coming back from the death of the first album, right? See that those are, the Chronic, Snoop Dogg, the skits.
Yes. Yes. They meant something.
I got a producer, Remo. Shout out Reb. Reb is living off of Remo because those skits is just like a song.
Hmm.
So he had publishing just like he made a record. See, we didn't jack nobody. We gave everybody credit for everything that they did.
Yeah.
That's another thing with Murder Inc. You can't never front because we could have easily been like, you ain't get here, take a couple of dollars and we keeping that.
So
No, we let you live. And you got money.
yeah, for sure. For sure. Best of both worlds.
Yeah, you got your little advance money and you got your credit. But he had a whole pub deal off of skits.
Damn.
Yeah, people don't know that. That's real.
I never knew that. I didn't know you could do that. I know it's possible.
Yeah, that's
Anything's
possible.
possible, huh? Kevin Gordon next. Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
But look,
Impossible.
Chris.
Yeah.
But look, Chris, man, I don't want to hold you too long, man. This thing might go off on you, bro. I don't want that to happen. if it's on a certain timer, I'll be totally embarrassed. If that happened, man, we got to bring you back on the show, bro.
All good.
So, what? Tell the people what you got going on right now. What can they plug with you?
Man, Clash, you missing my I started a professional basketball league.
Okay, my sure.
Yeah, it's called Clash
I
Basketball.
did hear about that. I did
So,
hear about that.
yeah, CPL. Again, we're out. I'm raising money, but I did my first season, ready to start my second season in March, and we just pushing forward, man. But this is an incredible opportunity for anyone that might want to be an investor. Uh, the upside for this is huge. Uh, I'm raising $5 million more. But again, it's empowering all these basketball players that don't get a job. There's 64 jobs every year, 2 rounds of draft choices, and half of those international players. All our homebred players that play D1 basketball that don't get an opportunity, they gonna have an opportunity now with me.
I saw you on Breakfast Club talking about it. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
My bad.
oh yeah.
I forgot about that. My bad.
This is
Yeah.
what it's about for me. This is what it's about for me right now. So you have the Arc Films, Andy and Trotter, my partner, Rich Black Walker, Dwight. My other partner. That's Arc Films. It's Andy, Rich, and Chris. That's Arc, and we doing films. Spanish Fly. We just finished. Coming soon. That's another movie we did.
Okay.
Latinos. My
What's up?
partner Don De Niro, Oscar, Gaetan, and they made an incredible film. I'm part of it. I'm one of the executive producers of it, and I got Raffle we're shooting right now with Eva Beaumont, which was my director for my balling movie. He's now directing this as well. Incredible film. I mean, we're just pushing forward, man. We got more films to come. Cheer No Evil, Night Shift.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All of these are coming soon. We
Boss.
out in 2026. I'll have at least another 5 to 7 films out.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Look, bro. Like I said again, Chris, it's an honor for you to come on the K Reed show. We're gonna have you again in the new year,
Yeah,
hopefully. And whenever you want to come on, it's what's up.
appreciate it.
Like I said, you're a legend, legendary
Thank you.
status, bro. I watched y'all coming up, bro. It's like for real, for real. So I learned a lot from you. I'm still learning from you. Just talking about the doggone deals and doggone intros. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So definitely legendary boss, entrepreneur, man, for the community and the culture, bro.
Thank you.
Man, y'all, look, that's Chris Gotti, legend. Chip.
Okay, really
Chris,
appreciate
man, what's up, bro?
appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate the
Thank
time,
you.
man.
Oh man.
Yeah. All right, man. Anytime, bro. All
All right now.
right, bro.
One.